Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in. This has been a fun-filled weekend, and we are just still getting started. We want you to join us and continue through the rest of the weekend. This is our third annual ChiroThon, and we're celebrating, elevating, and educating, and really building awareness on the benefits of chiropractic care through research, collaborating with different foundations. It's just an exciting weekend to really be able to bring awareness to how chiropractic works and what is important. So I want to remind you, if you haven't done it yet, you can see any of the vignettes from the past, and you can still donate. Yes, we would love you to donate so you can help us maximize and help alleviate people that are suffering and they don't know there's a better option. And so you can go to f4cp.org/Chirothon. That's f4cp.org/Chirothon. I want to remind you, your $1 turns into $4 because we have NCMIC, foot levelers, standard process, and biotics supporting us to make this target of $80,000 come true this weekend. I know you're going to make this happen, so thank you. Speaking of support, we could not have made any of this possible without the support of our generous sponsors. Foot Levelers, our stabilizing orthotics, was developed by a chiropractor to treat the body as a function, and that unit starting with the feet. These custom orthotics had properly support the back, the knee, and the hips, not to mention the pelvis, and even the neck. How? Well, it's by reducing the stress and restoring healthy balance in a symmetrical foundation. When you integrate with ongoing care with chiropractic and a properly fitted orthotic, well, it is the best. Foot Levelers is committed to helping elevate chiropractic through continuing education. For now over 70 years, there's numerous grants, donations, and philanthropic support that has advanced the chiropractic community and the worldwide wellness. So help us recognize our sponsors. If you want more information about Foot Levelers, feel free to go to footlevelers.com to get started. And I want to share with you a commercial on their behalf.
The way you move is unique. Shouldn't your orthotic be? Over-the-counter insoles provide ineffective support. The foot will continue to get flatter with age and routine activities like walking, potentially leading to pain in the knees, hips, and back, even if there's no foot pain. Foot Levelers custom orthotics are designed to address your unique biomechanics and restore natural, healthy function of all three arches of the foot, stabilizing the entire body. To learn more about custom three-arch support, visit Foot Levelers online today at footlevelers.com.
Our next guest, well, previously joined us virtually, and we want more from him. We want more support. Now, this mission can't even be better when you have the live visitor with us. So I want to ask you to really key into, did you get that? Key into this next vignette. We have a very, very talented athlete, a professional arena football player, Keyvan Rudd. See that? Keyvan is a professional athlete. I want to call him, being Canadian, Keyvan. We're not having that today.
Not today.
We want to get their name right. Keyvan is a professional athlete with 7 years of experience in arena football at the highest level. And let me tell you, he really is flexible. Throughout his career, Keyvan has played over 80 games. Now, he might help me with the math, but we're going with at least over 80 games without missing one. How? Well, he's going to tell you how, but I'll tell you. It's due to the nature of how he cares for his machine, which has allowed him to develop a well-known reputation in the arena football world. Yes, he has a fantastic reputation in that world, and he has currently had, this is really impressive, 85 career touchdowns. It may be more, right?
No, I did the math. It's 85.
85,
yeah,
okay, good.
I need
85 touchdowns. He's coming back when he gets 100. We're celebrating.
Yeah.
And is the franchise leader in every wide receiver statistical category from the Quad City Steamwheelers. Welcome to our live presentation.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it.
This is so fun. Okay, we have a lot to get to, but I know that many of you out there are thinking, how does this fit in with chiropractic, and what is a professional football player going to tell you? Wait and see. First, I want to remind you that we just did a career in chiropractic one. It was a circuitous route. So I want to take our watchers today, take them through your professional football player. How did you get there? What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome?
Well, thank you for having me. Love the introduction. Never heard one of those before about myself, so it's very appreciative that you were able to do that for me. And to kick this off, my professional football journey started out a little bit unorthodox. So I'll jump right to college. I had a choice to make. Coming out of college, I had two choices. I either continue my dreams of chasing track, I was a high jumper, or I can chase my dreams that I've had since a little kid of playing professional football. So in choosing professional football, I had a regional combine tryout with the Chicago Bears. So at that time, I had a pulled hamstring. So it was unfortunate that I wasn't able to do the most that I wanted to do while I was there. So then, of course, I'm on the back burner. Guys that are there performing, they're going to get those first couple of looks. But I was still able to finish my track career on top, earning my third All-American trophy, being one of the top 5 best high jumpers Minnesota State Mankato has ever seen. Thank you. So in chasing that professional career, I wound up back in the Quad Cities playing for the Quad City Steamwheelers in 2018. So I was living in Seattle at the time, working for Nike, and again, I was stuck with another choice. Chase my dream job or chase my other dream job that I wanted was to play football. So I moved back home to play arena football, and you know, it's been history ever since.
You know, it's kind of fun to watch someone go through their life and make these pivotal decisions. Like, just so the audience can know, he went to Nike as a dream job, okay? And he takes his dream with him everywhere. What do I mean by that? And he's probably thinking, what is she gonna say? But the first thing I noticed when I saw Keyvan in the live flesh and blood was, look at those shoes. Right?
Yeah.
So I got to describe to you for what they are. So if you put your shoe out, I don't know if you can get a little peek at this, but they're so beautiful. Now this describes him in a nutshell, okay? They're hearts. There is very few professional athletes that have a heart of gold like you. Yeah. Like, you're so willing to step in and step up. I love that. I think, and you wear your heart on your shoes, not your sleeve.
Yeah, my sleeve, my shoes, yeah.
As we move through and we kind of get that feeling for what does it take to be a professional athlete, because you came in and you were injured at the beginning, but now you're starting to look at how do you balance, because you had an injury, you knew what it was like to recover, you know what it takes to be high performance. How did you start to begin to balance that of being a pro athlete with the other aspects of your life? Because we know today it's juggling family, personal interests, professional athlete.
Yeah, I think honestly, me having a career before I really started to chase football actually helped me out. So I was with Finish Line for 7 years, and I made it to the store management level where I had a team I had to command. I had to, run labor, I had to run payroll, I had to do the schedule and all the other things that come with running a retail store. So I think that really helped me to learn how to balance things, especially when I added something more on my plate as becoming a professional football player. And kind of how you mentioned of me taking my dream everywhere I go, I've mastered the element of time management and being able to spend time with my family, hang out with my friends, buy new shoes.
I love it. See, you're my best friend.
Yeah, buy new shoes.
My husband doesn't want to hear this, but you're my best friend.
buy some new shoes, which I did today. But master all of those things and still be able to perform at the highest level, to communicate effectively, and take care of my body. So people know me as that. They know if you hit me up for anything, I'll most likely make it happen. And I think along my journey, me mastering that has helped me get more opportunities, because they're just like, hey, I know you're busy, but hey, let me figure something out. I'll make it happen, and which I do.
It is mastery, because sometimes we forget to give back to ourselves. Yeah. So I love that you shopped today.
Yeah.
I wish you could have taken me with you. But I think it's important that we do set the time aside and be fully present.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the pieces that has made it so beautiful in your life is you're fully present. Now I want to ask you, in that moment as well, you started your own key community. And I would like you to just share, because you do a lot for everybody else. Share why you started it, how it happened to be kind of like keep growing and growing and growing, because it's so beautiful.
So During COVID, a lot of stuff was taken away from us, and for me, most importantly, was sports, because football has just been my life for so long. And I looked at other professional athletes, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, just some of those big name players. They have something, they have a name for themselves outside of basketball. They have their own brand.
Sure.
So with me working at Finish Line, me working at Adidas, me working with Nike, me being familiar with that type of athleisure and all of those type of things, I was like, you know what? I want to create something for myself. And that's when Key Connect was, the wheels just started spinning. I reached out to my brother, Cybrin. I said, hey, I'm thinking of, kind of create my own brand. This is what I've got going on. He created my first logo. And before I started getting into whatever it is I'm going to sell, whatever it is I'm going to do, whatever it is I'm going to present, I need everyone to know what my brand stands for.
Great.
So Key Connect, my name is Keyvan. That's kind of where the key came from. Breaking down the key, K-E-Y, keep evolving yourself. The Connect came from, I was known as a reliable source when it came to pretty much anything that either my friends or my family needed. They needed the hookup on the shoes, they know to come to me. They need advice or help with their car, anything like that, I was known as the Connect. And then the other part of that is connecting with other people.
Yeah.
So once I figured that out, I was like, boom, snowball effect. We're avalanche mode now, so it's actually spinning and rolling. And that's when I created that, and I did some merchandise to kind of go with it, because that's typically what athletes do. And what I do with the money I get from the apparel that I drop, I turn around and I give at least 85-90% of that back to the community with my kids' football camps, back to school supplies. I'll pull merchandise aside to give it away to teachers that I've connected with by having them do assignments or any type of community service work. So it's always giving back. Maybe the little extra that I make, I use that to create more merchandise. So it's
love it.
Yeah, it's just another way that I'm able to give back and have my stamp on it.
It is really key, is that moment of reflection that you become the mentoree, and now the community is, especially when you're talking about little people, like the younger people see you and you're the it, right? You're a long jumper, you're a track athlete, you're an arena professional football player, and you're willing still to take the time, the energy, the love to really connect back with these younger people that look to you as, I want to be like Keyvan when I grow up, right? And I have to give your mom some incredible kudos, because say your brother's name. I mean, I'm having troubles with just yours. Say your other brother's name. Cybrin. God bless his mom. He's got to make it hard on me.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about today giving back, because you said that's how you give back. I'm going to ask our audience again, think really hard when you want to leave a legacy, because leaving a legacy in your world means, what are you willing to do for your community, for your family, for your loved ones? How are you mentoring others? Obviously today you've joined us, and which is pretty epic. We have so many ways for you to give back, but today we're asking you to give back very luxuriously by going to f4cp.org/ChiroThon to give back. Now that you've shared the Key Connect, which I love, I want you to tell our audience, with professional football, I remember Jerry Rice saying this to me, I will never forget it. He said, I said, I'm really impressed with how many touchdowns. And he said, you would run really fast if you saw who was running after you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. If you see who's running, you got a touchdown.
And our field is way smaller. So
Yes.
the way that these 300-pound linemen are chasing, as soon as we catch the ball and we have a wall right there that's just padded, you gotta be quite nifty.
I think you actually, I don't mean any disrespect to the non-arena football players, but there's a whole element of
our world is different.
Hazard, right?
Our
that you have to go through.
You catch the ball, you go over the wall, you can end up in the front row. There's beer, there's popcorn, there's kids, there's candy, there's licorice, there's old people, there's young people. Or you could go over the wall in the touchdown area. There's nothing but cement right there and a couple of wires for where the cameras are at, or there's a ramp for if the ambulance needs to get on the field. So there's all type of elements that some guys that have never played arena football will be like, I'm not doing that.
This is not right. So touchdowns, is it much like Jerry said? It's like you just run out of fear. Like you got to get to the end so you don't get hurt.
Mine isn't out of fear. Mine is out of excitement, because now once I score, here comes the backflip. The lights come off. The fans are going crazy. my teammates come up and we all celebrate. And the most favorite thing is I had a friend of mine, shout out to Meg. She works in San Diego as a photographer, and she says, you are the one person who never has a problem finding the camera. And
so true, because he gave me a photo of himself and I'm like, wow, he could be a ballerina with that flexibility.
Yeah, so whenever I score, the first thing I do, I find that camera. And when my teammates score, they're going crazy. I pull them aside, hey, camera's right there.
That's right,
so
it's right
I
there.
make sure, so they can have cool highlight tape and they can say hi to their friends and whatever. So I enjoy that aspect.
That's so fun. So he really does, he levels everybody up. Like, that's the thing. When you're in this profession, there's no I in team, right? And I want to go back to team, because your wellness and your overall performance really does need a team. And when I saw you at Dr. Mitch Malley's office, and I saw how incredible you were with giving him the data and him just telling you, what was needed that day. But for many of our audience, they don't even recognize the type of treatment that you got. So could you share a little bit to the audience about how do you tune up and who's on your team and why do you go there?
Man, I have, first and foremost, I would not be here without the incredible magic, the hands, the maestro, the masterpiece that Dr. Mitch Malley is. I've been being treated by him since I was 15 years old. So I've been seeing him decade plus, and the way that he's been able to teach me about my body, the way that he's allowed me to express how my body's feeling. And the most important thing is that he educates me on what he's about to do, how it's going to benefit me, and how this is going to help me be a better athlete. So all of those things, I wouldn't be in this position today. I wouldn't have probably 85 touchdowns, and I for sure wouldn't have played over 80 games without missing any if it wasn't for his care. So shout out to Malley. Love you. Appreciate everything you've done. But just to go back on that, him and his staff are my team of people that keep this machine running on all cylinders. So there's pregame rituals, there's postgame rituals that I do. Pregame tune-up goes over the full body. I explain to him aches and pains. This is kind of bothering me. This is that. This is that. He'll just give me my homework. Hey, okay, well, let's make sure you're doing this. How you at practice? What are you doing? Okay, cool. And then postgame, hey, how'd you play? Did you take any big hits? What's hurting? What's bothering? And then we get it addressed. So that's always. It's typically immediately after, but within a day or two, depending on my schedule, I make sure I see him at least 3 days before our next game or our next trip. So having a full body tune-up. If I need massage, we'll do that. If I need cold laser, we'll do that. But I think just being so consistent with him over the years, I'm able to do things at my age that even some of these young guys aren't able to do.
Yeah.
So, prime example, when I come into practice, let's say we practice at 6 a.m. I'll get there at about 5:15 or so, 5:20. I'll just lay there, kind of watch some film on my phone, and then once it's about 10 minutes ready to go, I'll just get dressed and I'll go practice, and I'm ready to go. Some guys are getting tape, they need the biofreeze, they need their brace, they need all of this other stuff. And some of the young guys are asking me like, Rudd, you just lay there and then you go practice and you out here, like, how are you able to do this? I'm like, it's really not a secret. This is the guy. And I've been so consistent with it. Sometimes they view it as it didn't work right away, or I don't see the instant benefits of it. But it's like, I've been doing this for 15 years plus. It's going to take time, and you just got to trust it. Look what I'm able to do. Look how I'm able to perform. This is that process. So I love educating friends, coworkers, teammates, anybody that says there's an issue. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I know where to send you, because it sounds like there's something in the chiropractic world that we can address and get this fixed for you.
As time went on and I watched Dr. Malley work with Rudd. I love it.
I've got a few
Rudd,
different
how
nicknames.
do you do that?
Yeah.
See, I can easily remember Rudd.
Let's do that. We'll go with that.
I can do that.
We'll go
You're
with
my
that.
special Rudd, okay?
We'll take it. I'll go with that.
As I watched, though, this is an athlete that you wouldn't know the age. You only know the flexibility, the stability, and the mobility of this athlete. So age never really ever came into my mind. Is you're actually, not the first line of youth in this group. Is like, you're teaching the younger athletes how to protect and then really engage with your body. we had Dr. Heidi Horvick on just before and today, and she was talking about, you know, how your brain starts to tell you where you are in space.
Yeah.
And that if, in fact, you're not in alignment and you're not at that basic element of knowing where your brain is connecting to your body, then you make sloppier moves, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that that's in your, because, I mean, you're running, I mean, you have to be super flexible. You want to watch some YouTube videos? It's fun. Watch the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But do you feel that when you know it's not right? Do you feel it?
Immediately. Like as soon as I feel a little bit of pain in the ankle or the hamstring gets a little sore, I know my body's out of whack.
Yes.
So I go there, get it aligned, get it straight, get it fixed, and then if I need the rehab process, then if I need additional stretching, I don't want to go immediately into that without properly aligning my body. So that's how my mind is now wired. If there's anything wrong, I'm not immediately, rest, ice, and just stretch. Not at all. I need to go get adjusted. I need my body back in line so everything can start working properly, and then the healing process can start and work better now that everything's lined up how it's supposed to be.
That, I think, as I look back and I explore, because as a chiropractor, I'm just going to be like truthful here, you kind of take for granted, because it's like if you have cake every day, take for granted that cake's always going to be there. Right. So when you said from 15 on, it took you a while, and you still have some people that are like, yeah, it didn't work immediately. No, it doesn't typically, unless you really messed up the system. But if you're fine tuning, especially with athletes, because you heard Dr. Heidi Horvick talk about 6% increase for an Olympic athlete. Like if someone was to say to you right now, Keyvan, that I could give you 6% more flexibility, mobility, and athletic speed, what would you say? Would you be like, wow?
Yeah, tell me how.
Yeah,
tell me
where
how.
do you get that?
Yeah, where do you get that from?
Because no drug can do that for you.
Right.
There is no virtual reality that changes your body like that. It has to be through touch, and it has to be through maximizing your body balance. You're a professional athlete, and you get it. And I think that's what I want our audience is, if you're at the highest level of professional athletic ability, and you depend on maximizing this machine that God has granted you, you're taking care of it, and you're getting the tune-ups, because you got a Ferrari. Like, let's be honest. You got a Ferrari.
Got a Ferrari with some miles on it. It's still vroom vroom.
But some of those young kids are Ferraris, but they're not taking care of it.
Yeah, there's chips and pop every day and all that kind of stuff. And the diet is as important, but you got to take care of your body if you want to do this for as long as you may think you want, or if you want to reach the highest level. Because one of my favorite lines, best ability is availability. So I've always been available at any point in time in my career. Any coach, whoever can vouch for that, and the film speaks for itself. So if you're not available, you're getting looked over. People are, hey, next man up. That's how it works in sports. So making sure that your body's fine-tuned is always going to keep you available. And then since you're available, what you do with that is completely up to you.
Who's your role model?
Oh boy, when's the last time I've been asked that? Honestly, I don't have a sole role model, but I think I just find ways to better myself every day so I can be the next best person for whoever else needs that.
Brilliant.
So I've kind of been thinking it like that. There's people I love having in my circle because I learn from them every day. I was living out west, Uncle Page, Dr. Malley. My mom, obviously, that's my root. That's why I'm here. She's the one that introduced me to Dr. Malley. So shout out to moms.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, shout out to moms. Always love being around my dad. He teaches me stuff every day. So shout out to my parents.
Yes, Dad too.
And man, I told myself if I ever get in this position, I hope I don't forget anybody. But those are just the immediates that I know who have filtered me into the person that I am today.
Do you have a sister?
I do. I have a sister. I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Wow, he is fully loaded. So thank God you had girls in your life too, because it must be like full-on war with 5 boys.
Yeah,
your mother's a saint.
Humble. Yeah, all my family members are typically pretty chill. So we all get along. So everything is not too hectic.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's not too hectic with 5 boys. Okay, so what's going to be next for you? What's the future look like? What's the big picture? You're an athlete. You're an influencer. you're in the community, you're building, you're bold, you're brave,
Yeah.
and if I can say, beautiful. I don't know, am I allowed to say that? But you're
Yeah,
beautiful.
I
would
get
trade
touched
my
up.
hair any day
I
to
did
have
get
yours.
touched up today. You know, shout out to my brother. You know, he's my barber. You know, so
There we go. Shout out to bro. See,
yep,
brother
shout out
got
to bro,
but
man,
You
you
do
know.
have beautiful hair.
Yeah, so-
So what's next for you for your career?
honestly, obviously, my window of football, how I feel, I can keep going. But
Yeah.
at some point, you're like, hey, let's leave it to the next group. I want to dedicate myself to at least 2 more years of professional football.
Okay.
And I want to keep growing the brand. Honestly, I don't know a specific direction it's going because it's just like every year I'm learning a different avenue that I can take it. But as long as I'm connecting first and foremost with the youth in my community, that's the most important thing. I haven't dropped some new merch in a while. The people have been asking because they love it, so I want to continue to do that. But I just want to keep evolving in whatever direction that evolvement happens. I want to take it that way.
I love that. So evolving will be the theme for today. Me and Rudd, we're evolving
Yeah.
right now, okay? But we want to have you evolve with us. How do you do that? Help us get to the communities that don't have the option, that didn't know there was a better solution than drugs, that didn't know that opioid wasn't the answer, that really don't understand the coaching portion of being a wellness body, that perhaps we could tweak here and tweak there and get that moving along. So I want to sincerely thank you. You are such a blessing to your community, to your family, and of course to the chiropractic community to be able to share your talents and your wisdom.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best. So all the audience, I want you to plug in with
get
Rudd
get
and make sure you
connected.
watch. That's
Get
right.
connected, yes.
Connect with Rudd. That's a really important thing. And I want to thank all of you today. We've got more exciting vignettes coming up, but don't forget to donate. We have a very exciting opportunity now to tell you how much we have raised. We have raised $29,728, and our goal is $80,000. And we want you to recognize that it's every dollar becomes $4. So this is the time to donate because now your money gets quadrupled. So it's kind of a fun moment for us. I want to thank you for your support. This weekend is not over yet. In fact, we have some very interesting other guests coming up, like a World Series outfielder for the San Francisco Giants. That's fun, right? So don't go away. Come back with us. We have so much more to give, but help us reach our goal. Every single dollar helps. If you've enjoyed this segment, stick around because we will be right back with another professional athlete, former MLB player, World Series outfielder for the San Francisco Giants, Marvin Bernard.
The way you move is unique. Shouldn't your orthotic be? Over-the-counter insoles provide ineffective support. The foot will continue to get flatter with age and routine activities like walking, potentially leading to pain in the knees, hips, and back, even if there's no foot pain. Foot Leveler's custom orthotics are designed to address your unique biomechanics and restore natural, healthy function of all 3 arches of the foot, stabilizing the entire body. To learn more about custom 3-arch support, visit Foot Levelers online today